Welcome to week number 9 of Shadowguard, the Honeymooners, as I like to call it, even though the wife is gone. I am wearing the wig that was supposed to be here for me thanks to Luke from last week. This would have been the pastor's hair. So
what does that wig have to do with the wedding?
Everything.
Why?
Everything. Why not?
Why a purple wig for a wedding episode, Luke? I want to know your logic.
Purple is kind of like, the color of love there.
No, it's not.
It is
not
to
tradition.
Luke, and it's kind of like the important thing there because, he doesn't really care about your opinions, you hoser.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll wear this until my head really starts to hurt, and then I'll take it off, and you guys get to see my normal hair. But I'm gonna wear it for a while. I think it's actually semi kind of comfortable-ish. So yes. So now me and Jazzy are twins.
Except yours is much brighter than mine.
That's because I had a better dye job.
Wow.
Charlie, do you have any announcements before we get into recap and all that stuff?
I do. We have new emotes on the way. I've uploaded them. Subs, I messed up. I'm sorry. I deleted the two. So normally you just upload a new emote and it keeps the old one until the new one is approved, and then it just swaps them. But I actually deleted the ones we had. So now there's no $5 or $10 emote for the next couple days until our new pudding emote and our new uh-oh emote comes through. I'll post them in chat right now. There's the first one. And this one. So these are what the I think the pudding is going to be the $10, and I think the uh-oh is going to be the $5. There they both are. And also, eventually, I do want to get a few T-shirts made with the Cara Donnell pudding can, which I also just posted in chat. You guys should check that out if you haven't seen it yet. 40% pudding.
Yeah, what's the other 60%? We really wanted to ask you that, Charlie.
Luke answered it in Discord.
Did he?
Accurately. Yes.
Luke, would you fill us in?
It's elves.
They use their own kind.
It's 60% elves.
Elves are now cannibals, apparently.
Yeah, it's cannibal.
I think you just cut out for a second. We lost your voice maybe on you, Charlie. We lost your voice.
Sorry, I have it muted. I was going to say it's Soylent Green, except with elves.
Right. Charlie's muted, though. Wait. I can't hear you. We lost him.
He's back.
Say something. There we go. I don't know how we lost you there, but we did.
My audio screwed up as usual.
Okay. So did you want to say anything else you were saying?
Nope, that's it. I was saying that was all my announcements, and happy to be here for week 9.
Cool. I
hope
we
don't have to do what I think we're gonna have to do.
Yes.
No, we won't be doing that at all, Magnus.
What do you mean?
I knew it.
So,
I'm gonna hurt all of you.
What was it? I actually have one announcement. I actually will have a new player on my other game I run on Sundays, which is Petty Squabbles. I will have Elle, which is from one of my Discord. She was one of my previous players from a long while back. That should be joining that crew. So I'll be back to 4 players in that game this next upcoming Sunday. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Other than that,
go give this man a follow, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. And I think other than that, I guess we can just do a quick recap of the best wedding I've ever, coordinated myself. If I do say myself.
This is some good wedding planning, man.
Mm-hmm. So Luke, as we all know, was forcibly married away to a woman named Amara I think it was Donwing. That she also, at least from Luke's point of view, is also being forced into the situation. She was sent off thanks to a letter that Black-Eyed Ripley gave you, Luke, to go learn the family business from your father and family in your normal headquarters of, I think it's Chiretta, is the city that it's from, which is an elven city in a different country.
What was her last name one more time? I didn't get it.
Donwing.
D-A-W-N?
Yep.
Dawnwing. All right. Luke's married. Haha.
Yes.
No, her last name is Cardinal. Sorry.
Oh, that's true.
Yes, she is now a kid now. She is an elf. As we all know, Luke is a halfling. So as long as Luke dies before her, their souls will not be bonded eternally. If for some reason she happens to die before Luke, Soranis will make it her goal for you to be bound back together and found once again. So, other than that, it was a beautiful ceremony. Nothing bad happened. Magnus, you ran into Rexus, the ever living,
Yes.
enjoying some nice, delicious bread pudding during one point of the festivities.
He's lucky I didn't bust him right there in the wedding, but I'm a better best man than that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You just held your breath when anybody asked if anybody had anything to say, and left Luke to his new bride. Elle, you had a lovely wedding. In a sense, a lovely last night with Valna. Where you guys spent a lovely evening dancing, talking, just kind of chit-chatting a lot. And then at the end, you guys delivered her to Iron Gold, the Grand Alchemist of Whiteborough, where she subtly, but not so subtly, hinted at experimenting on her potentially. But you're not quite sure. I know Elle wasn't quite happy about that. So, we leave off kind of at that point after you guys spent the next, I believe you guys went back to the headquarters at that point. I think we kind of zoom in actually on Luke and Elle, maybe a week ahead if you guys want to do the downtime actions. Otherwise, we can just go right away. What are you guys doing? Is it a plan just to sit around in town for like a week and kind of collect stuff and recuperate? Or is it just like get right back to the job?
Recuperation doesn't sound terrible.
Okay. Luke and Magnus, what do you guys think?
What am I doing? What
Yeah,
am I
like-
doing for the week?
Well, are you going to be spending a week just kind of recuperating and doing something else in town? Or are you going to try to head out right away?
I would think, yeah, Magnus wants to take time to study.
Okay.
Study, these new texts that he's learned about.
Okay.
A few little clues I grabbed out of the texts in the Grand Alchemist's office.
Okay. So, Luke, can you hear us or no?
I can hear you, but I wanted to go check on my connection.
Ah, well,
You seem fine to
you
me.
seem fine on our end. Yeah, we haven't heard an issue
I haven't been
whatsoever.
saying anything for like the last 30 minutes.
I know. I was worried about you.
Well, why don't we do this part first, and then if we hit a point where you can kind of scurry off for a minute, you can check it then if that works.
Sure.
Okay. So, Magnus, I guess we'll start with you. You said that you're going to be doing research for like your week or so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just flipping through some notes here
Sure.
real quick. Let's see. First of all, one more quick question, because I'm not seeing it here. Never mind, there it is. I was just trying to find the name of the Grand Alchemist. Cathra Iron.
Yes, Cathra Iron Gold. That's her name.
Yeah, so when I was in her office, and she wasn't in there yet, right? That's what happened. I
She
think.
left to escort Valna,
That's right.
and that's
yeah.
when you and Luke kind of, poked
I just
about
like
a little
grabbed
bit.
the most interesting looking book I could find on her
Yes.
bookshelf and just started like trying to remember things from it.
It was a hand crafted journal. No
And,
like title on the page, nothing like that.
The things I got were Juragrando, which I don't know if that's a kind of vampire or a monster or a specific person
Mhm.
or being, but I definitely want to look into that more.
Okay.
Let's see, Kringa Village
Okay.
and Gregorio was the name of the leader there, or possibly that I thought maybe the leader. It's just a name I got
Yeah.
in the passage about Kringa Village. And then an undead ritual written in the language of the undead, in like deep speak or something like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to research about those things. I think Magnus is very interested in the undead being a necromancer,
Okay.
but specifically vampires more so than anything. So I think he would spend the week researching about Juragrando.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, that sounds like a vampire's name, possibly, or a type of vampire, even.
Yeah, that definitely could make sense. So you're gonna spend a week doing research. So we're doing the downtime action for this, in a
Okay,
sense.
do
So we'll
we-
do, go ahead.
Do I spend any gold as like resources for library fees?
Yes.
Things like that?
So you're gonna be using like the library within Whiteboro, which is the best one you can get in the area you have. You spend at least 50 gold on materials for like gifts, other expenses. You know, your living expenses are all covered on this.
50. All right,
50
that's
gold.
Okay, that's okay, because I'm loaded. Ha!
And what you'll end up doing is you're gonna end up rolling an intelligence check, and
Okay.
for every 100 gold more you spend, you get a +1 to that bone to roll up to a +6.
I can't do an Arcana check?
It says specifically intelligence check.
For the research downtime, it says?
Yeah, it says the character makes an intelligence check with a +1 bonus per 100 gold spent beyond the initial 50 gold.
Damn. Well, I have a great intelligence, but...
I mean, as long as you don't roll between a 1 and a 5, you will at least learn something. Okay, on a 10. So you spend your time kind of going through, and you're not really having too much luck finding anything on this thing, this name. It takes you roughly almost until the end of the week where you're finally going through like the books that no one's looked in for hundreds of years. They're dust covered, they're ragged, and in some spots they're even hard to read. They weren't well kept. What you learn about Juragrando is, I actually have some info on this man. Where is he at? Of course, it's one of the pages I didn't open up. Let me open that one up fast.
Go in there and... I used to have a... Wait. I used to have like a big tome that sat next to my desk so I could have a tome in my hand, but not anymore.
Yes. I don't have a tome, or I would. All right.
Kofu, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Chop Shop Network.
Okay. So the things you get about Jure, it's little. You don't really get a lot about. You get the fact that he's a person or was a person. He was a villager in Kringa. So, which you still don't know too much about, but you know that Kringa is a village where this person, they kind of have like ledger notes of like what he owned and land and stuff like that.
Okay. Like an estate.
Yeah. You roughly get he was around about 40 to 50 years prior to basically the cataclysm where the undead came. So he's from a time before undead walked everywhere.
Ah, the good times and the way back.
Yes. You did get that he grew sick with diseases was his death. You don't get any real reason as to what reason he contracted the disease. And there's one little note mentioned stating that his wife supposedly saw him about 16 years after he died.
Okay.
It doesn't explain what, but that's kind of what you're able to gather. It's a very...
It doesn't say anything else to the context as to where she saw him. Was he like in like, you know, noble's clothes at a party, or was he like walking through a graveyard with like a arm in his hand? You know,
no, with the book you have, you just have the fact that his wife saw him supposedly 16 years after his death.
Okay.
And I think as you're closing the book, you see a sigil of a god that you probably haven't seen before. If you want to give me a religion check, I can maybe tell you if you know what it is.
Okay.
And you don't get the full name, but it does start with a G as like kind of like the author at the end of the book.
Okay, 1 second here. So that was 16 years after death. And let me make that religion check real quick.
The exact time frame of when he was actually around, you know, is prior to the cataclysm, but you're not exact on the actual time frame of when his death was.
Okay.
13. I think you maybe have seen this before. You kind of dealt with a lot of different religions due to your job and the kind of research. This is a god that is no longer worshipped. It's Shantae. She is the goddess of grain, also known as the Great Mother or Earth Mother.
Okay, that's a... Let me use my deities page here. I have a little religious lore book. Shantae, got it.
Okay.
And one more time, you said God of Grain?
The grain goddess, the great mother, or earth mother, or her names.
Got it, thank you.
Yep. So that's kind of what you do spending your weekend, is kind of gathering that information.
Oh, and Magnus loves it too. You know, this is what he likes more than anything. He's just smoking piles of long bottom leaf and reading and taking notes.
On occasion, Elle and Luke, do you guys go and visit him to see what he's doing? Because he spends most of the time in the library and away from the guild hall.
No.
No? Elle, what about you?
I think I just assume he's always there, you know?
Okay.
That's a safe bet, and I'm actually gonna remove 5 more GP from my inventory. Just assumedly, I smoked 5 gold pieces worth of long.
Honestly, count it as part of the material cost for the research.
Exactly.
It's part of the material cost, so you can actually just keep it in the 50 if you want.
Okay.
So let's go with Luke really fast. So Luke, you have some downtime actions you could be doing during this time. You have kind of a variety of options, so I will read them off to you. You could buy a magical item. You can go carousing, which can help you potentially gather contacts or followers to come with you and stuff like that. You can craft a magical item, or craft an item. You can commit a crime, gamble. You can do pit fighting, which realistically probably wouldn't be in Whiteborough, but maybe over at East Hollow or just out on the outskirts somewhere. You might be able to find a pit fighting arena somewhere. You can relax. You can do some kind of religious service, which, depending on how well the service goes, you could gain, potentially request favors from that church. You can do some research, just like Magnus did. You can scribe a spell to a scroll. You can sell a magic item. You can do some training, which will give you experience, like for your character. You can work to earn some gold.
That's tough. Carouse or work for gold?
Can you do crime?
You could do crime also. I mean, does Luke want to do crime though? So I will explain.
Yes.
There are potential complications.
He does.
Okay, there are potential complications when it comes to crime. So if it goes poorly, something bad may happen potentially.
Whatever. I'm already in shit's deep.
Okay. So crime. Sometimes it pays to be bad. This activity gives character a chance to make some extra cash at the risk of arrest. Character must spend 1 week and at least 25 GP gathering information on potential targets before committing the intended crime. Character must make a series of checks with a DC for all checks chosen by the character according to the amount of profit sought from the crime. Chosen DC can be a 10, a 15, a 20, or 25. Successful completion of the crime yields a number of gold pieces as shown on the loot table, which I have. To attempt...
You choose the difficulty class, 10.
Correct.
And that higher difficulty class gives more gold.
To attempt the crime, the character must make 3 checks. A dexterity stealth check, a dexterity using thieves tools, and a player's choice of intelligence investigation or wisdom perception or charisma deception. If none of the checks are successful, the character is caught and jailed. The character must pay a fine equal to the profit of the crime would have earned and must spend 1 week in jail for 25 gold for each 25 GP of the time. If you have 1 success, it fails. If you have 2 successes, the highest is partially successful, netting the character half the payout. And on 3, the character earns the full loot value. Now, a DC 10 gives you 50 gold pieces. A 15 gives you 100 gold pieces. 20 gives you 200 gold pieces, and a 25 gives you 1,000 gold pieces.
Instead.
Okay.
Oh, baby.
We're gonna go carousing.
Scared.
So carousing.
No, I'll do the carousing because I'm lagging and I don't want to.
That's fine.
I'd like to know what's going on.
So a default downtime activity for many characters between adventurers who want to relax with a few drinks. Your group of friends at a tavern. Resources. Carousing covers a work week of fine food, strong drink, and socializing. Character can attempt to carouse among lower, middle, or upper class folk. Character can carouse with lower class for 10 gold pieces to cover expenses, 50 gold pieces for middle class, or 250 for upper class.
What does upper class yield?
The character, so hold on. It will give you a contact with the nobles, basically. So whatever you're trying to gather or get, like if you want to like carouse with a noble family, you gain access to that family. And in a sense, this is what it does. So, after a work week of carousing, a character stands to make contacts with selected social class. The character makes charisma persuasion check using the carouse table, which is in here. You have a potential, like on 1 to 5, you make a hostile contact. But on a 21 plus, you make 3 allied contacts. Contacts NPCs who now share a bond with you. Each one owes the character a favor or a reason to bear a grudge, obviously. Also, contact works against the character, placing obstacles but stopping short of committing crime or violent acts. Allied contacts are friends who will render aid to the character but not at the risk of their lives.
Got you. That sounds like something I need to have done for the future.
Okay, so what are you going to do? You do middle class, upper class, or the lower class?
How much gold do I have? I think the upper class...
You guys all did...
I'm
I'm just making sure you guys did mark that you guys got 5,000 gold from Iron Gold at the end of last session. Yes, you did. You guys got 5,000 gold. You got 3 magical items, which was the Bag of Holding, the Robe of Useful Items, and the Silver Raven, plus 5,000 gold that you guys split amongst yourselves. I don't remember how much you gave to the guild bank.
I will drop the 250 and make the noble contacts.
How much did we give to the guild? We took a lot.
I have 500 gold in the guild bank right now.
We took 1,500 each.
You guys took 1,500, which means 500 gold to the guild bank, which actually means it should be.
We took 1,500 each?
Yeah, I think that's what you did. So that would be 45. So the guild bank would be at 1,000 gold right now.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I was like, I only have 500, but that's right because I put 1,000 in my store, my locker, in my.
So you marked it there. Gotcha.
Okay. And you sent me on Discord all of the patches from my robe of many things.
I did, yes. Which you may want to. I think I gave you the ability to edit that that sheet, or you could put it on your actual character.
I copied it in my character sheet. Yeah, it's no problem. I gotta find the actual message though. You and I talked about coding for like an hour.
Sorry. All right, so I need you to give me a persuasion or charisma persuasion check, and let's see how this goes for you, Luke.
Charisma persuasion.
A 9.
Something I don't have any modifiers in.
Sadly, you made no new contacts, but you did not make a hostile contact. So your carousing went noticed, but no one really...
So basically I wasted 250 gold.
I mean, people took notice of you.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
So, Elle. Go ahead.
You went noble?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Okay, Elle. So what do you do during your downtime? Oh, what's this been? You want me to read them off to you again really fast, or do you know which one you want?
Yeah, read them, please.
Buy a magical item, carouse, craft an item, crime, gambling, pit fighting, relaxation, religious service, research, scribe a spell scroll, which you can't do, selling a magical item, training, or work.
Would research include, like, finding a blueprint of the alchemist's place?
Alchemist's place. I'm not sure what you mean.
The high...
Oh, you wanna do research to get like the layout, like a map of like the castle grounds kind of thing.
Called.
Yeah, I think that's technically a possibility. There might be something like in library records. It's very dangerous, so there will be some potential consequences if it does not go quite well for you. But let me go ahead and pull that up. So man, I don't know how people do it with long hair. It just gets in the way of everything. Okay, I'll make this one go quick here. Research. Alright, so it's 50 gold pieces to start to cover all your expenses. Do you want to spend any, and you'll be doing just a straight intelligence check for this? So do you want to spend an additional 100 gold up to a +6, and every 100 gold you spend you get a +1 to the roll?
It's 50 to start, right?
50 to start, yep.
I can pay 250.
Okay, 250, so you'll end up getting a +2 to the roll. So if you want, you can roll an intelligence check, and we'll just add 2 to whatever number you get. Right, this is coming off because it's starting to pop out of my eyes. He loves my hair. I can't see it. It's coming. All right. Sorry, everybody. Going blind. A 21. Okay, so a 23. Okay, so you gain 3 pieces of lore. Now, what I was going to do is I was probably going to separate it into 3 separate map pieces. In a sense, you find 2 parts. You find a map, like a blueprint of the castle layout. In addition to that, you get a layout of the dungeon itself. And you happen to come across a map that shows a secret, like, sub-basement within the castle, which is more than likely, at least from researching people you've been talking to, where she does her experiments and all that type of stuff. So you gain all 3, like, map sections of this castle and underground. You want to mark that on your character sheet.
Like where? Like.
I would put it in your, on your bio page somewhere. One of those ones would be the best place to put it, or put them in your items at the bottom of your main page. All right. Luke spends time drinking. Magnus, you spend your time researching. And Elle's, this is a different part of the library, looking through old blueprints where she finds some nice little hidden secrets. Okay. Well, we just lost Luke, I think. Sorry, guys, the webcam's gonna be messed up for a minute here until he comes back, which I'm assuming he just rebooted. So,
yeah.
He will probably
Let's
back.
go to. You want to go to a waiting screen just real quick while he comes back?
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll be back in like a minute, really quick. So we're gonna let him do that really fast. So we'll be right back, guys, in a minute. All right, we are back.
Thanks for waiting, guys.
Yeah, thanks for waiting. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We are good to go. So, all the downtime stuff is done. You now have your maps. You have a little bit more information on Jiray. And Luke had a really good time partying. Kind of had his own little after wedding party, like, week. kind of enjoying the married life a little bit, maybe a little bit too much, and people strayed away from it at the end of it. But no one really had any, dislike towards him at the end of it. Kind of had the same opinion as they started. So, I think this is kind of where we then zoom in on Luke and Elle kind of hanging out in the front room of HQ. Theron's there speaking to you. He kind of looks at you both and goes, "I think it might be best if we help those in Beggar's Hole. It may not be worth a lot of gold, but we just gained a ton, and it'd be good for a reputation to help those who are in need that can't typically afford it. And it's been going on for a very long time. Oh, I have heard that Magnus, as he looks around for you, Magnus doesn't see you around, has an aversion to rats. So I think it might be best you do not tell him where you're going until it's too late."
I agree with that.
Luke, I know you're in silence, but... Oh, you're muted.
It's best to conquer one's fear and not kind of just throw them into the, fire or whatnot there.
He needs to face his fear, I completely agree with you. But it might be best to let him face his fear when he doesn't have an ability to run away.
Okay.
So that's my opinion on it. Other than that, we have not gotten anything new in recently, which is good news. But who knows what might happen before you return. Is there anything else?
Dear.
Okay. Is there anything I can get you? Any supplies that you require before you get ready to set off? I can collect anything for you from town.
A large amount of snakes there, because snakes eat rats or cats. Cats would also be kind of a thing.
I don't know if I can procure that for you. I was thinking like rations or a healing potion, perchance.
Whatever you think that we might need, just kind of, go ahead and get it for us, for our trip out there.
Okay. So, I mean, he kind of just look at your supplies. You guys have torches and enough rations for your travel, which it looks to be about a 3 days journey to Beggar's Hole. From, I guess, if you take it by road. You can get there. You can only get a 2 day journey. Let me look it up. No, it is a 3 day journey. It's a 3 day journey to Beggar's Hole and a 3 day journey back. So as long as you guys have 6 rations, you should be covered. Maybe an extra days potentially if you spend an extra, however long you actually end up in Beggar's Hole. There's no inns. You guys know there's no inns. There's no shops. There's no nothing. It is literally more of a ruin than it is an actual town.
So what you're saying is we need the rations to stay there for town.
You will end the travel to it.
There's no inn there?
Mm-mm. This is the literal Beggar's Hole.
How do you plan on bringing me to a big peninsula up north without me noticing it?
We're just gonna do the classic misdirection. Like, oh, this is the way we're going,
I'll make Magnus tell me about his research he's been doing. That'll occupy him for, ever.
I'll start talking about pudding.
Or don't.
So, you guys, both Elle and Luke, do you guys discuss a plan about how you're going to convince him or distract him?
There's rats there? Does his character know that?
Yes, it was a part of the initial explanation of the issue. It mentioned rats. And that's when we as players learned of...
Straight up lie to him.
So, do you, go knock on his door? What do you do?
I discussed this idea with, Elle first.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Elle. Elle.
Yes.
Elle. I think the best solution there to get him to go up there, I was just thinking, maybe we should just lie to him, Tell him something else is going on up there and something that'll pique his interest,
Well, Just tell him we're going somewhere.
You know, if he's never been there, he'll never actually know where we're going, right? Like he obviously doesn't know what a map looks like, right?
There's a good possibility that he does know what a map looks like.
Well, you know, a map, direction and whatnot, you know.
Maybe.
Anyway, I think the best solution here is just to lie to him, you know.
Lying to him or tricking him?
Yeah, well, you know, it's both the same thing, right? You know, no such thing as tricking things are in a good way.
I suppose.
Well, you know, since everything I see is not a good idea apparently to him, maybe you should approach it. You know.
I'm sure if I agree, it'll be plenty.
Well, you know, I'll leave it to you there. I've got some things I need to accomplish. Good luck, you know. I gotta go pack.
Just scurries off up the stairs. All right, so Elle, we kind of fade out on this conversation as Luke goes up, and we fade back in at you at Magnus's door, getting ready to knock, and just hear.
Hello?
Magnus,
Who
are
is-
you? It's Elle. Could I come in?
Come in. Mind the body.
Right.
It's been like 2 weeks since you guys have killed him. At this point, it says mind the body, and it's like all the skin starting to sag off of it. It's in a very horrible state of decay at this point. The room smells horrid. Actually, Elle, would you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Oh my god.
It is that
Do it,
bad.
Magnus.
You just open that and you see this whiff. You're like, and you just like, you kind of just choke it back down.
This time when you come in my room, Raxus's body is like, most of the parts are sewn back together, and now it's like sitting up in the chair at my desk with like its arm on the desk.
There's a little itty puddle on the ground under it.
Like Weekend at Bernie's looking kind of style, like I have him propped up.
Is your research going well?
Oh yes, splendid. Quite interesting. I've kind of forgotten about all this, and I kind of like motion to the body. I've been researching other things, but I'll get back to that.
Oh, you might want to before it completely decays.
Yes, I know. It's probably time to pitch it. Unfortunate.
Well, is there any way you could pause your research for a little bit?
Sure. Another job?
Yeah.
You're just gonna make up like one of the towns to go to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say.
Don't help her lie to me.
I'm just her inner voice, just helping her think.
Like a random named one, because the equidistant ones would be like Valden, but we've been there.
Right. I mean, you could use like Moorgate, which is to the south of Alden. You could don't use. I mean, technically, you could use like Davenport. You could use going down to Fox Vale. You could use really any of them you want to use. Can you say you're going to East Hollow? New job came in just today.
Would you? Do you remember mention of East Hollow?
Yes, we visited there, did we not? No, we traveled the road in that direction, though.
Towards the tavern, yeah.
I recall.
Yeah. There's a new job there that, what's the elf's name?
Barley Glory?
Theron.
Oh, Theron, okay.
That Theron informed Luke and I of. I was wondering if you would care to join us.
Well, I mean, sure. This is why I'm here. I'm happy to do work for the guild.
So we're heading south then, right? I just want to be clear. South. Southeast. To East Hollow.
Southeast.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll pack my things. When do we head out?
As soon as Luke and I pack as well.
Wonderful. I shall meet you in the common room once my bags are packed, and I suppose I'll clean that up.
I like motion towards the corpse sitting on my desk.
Okay.
Would be greatly appreciated.
It really is a shame. Waste of good meat.
Could always kill him again.
I hope to. Next time, permanently.
Okay.
Good plan.
So you guys get ready to head towards Beggar's Hole. When Magnus thinks you're going to East Hollow. Who is the one who's going to be doing the survival rolls for the trip to Beggar's Hole?
I have a decent survival.
Yes, but Magnus. You guys don't let Magnus drive? You know, drive Jericho when you're supposed to be going somewhere else?
Sure, you can drive his cart.
If he drives the cart, then he takes you to East Hollow.
I will drive the cart.
My survival, not great. So,
You wish to drive the cart this time, Luke. It's quite fun. Jericho's really quite
Well, you know,
responsive.
you kind of it's kind of a learning experience. You know what happens. You know, if you kind of get, you understand how it is.
Well, I'll tell you what. You can drive the cart, and how about this? And
Are we outside yet? By
Yeah,
the
we'll
cart,
assume
I'm
you're by the cart at this point,
like,
kind of
loading the
flash
cart
in.
up.
how about this?
And I'm actually wearing the robe, by the way, of useful item now.
Mm-hmm.
And I turn and I tear a horse patch off of the robe and throw it to the ground, and a poof of smoke appears. And when it's gone, a riding horse, a big, a beautiful brown riding horse, is standing there.
I'll ride next to you.
That's not necessary, there.
Well, I already used the patch. Too bad.
Maybe,
Help me on the horse. There, over here. Please help me up.
Yes, of course, yes. And he comes walking forward and, like, grabs you, like, as you, like, grab on the top of it, he like, holds your ass and pushes you up to it.
Oh, it's kind of weird that you chose to ride a horse. I figured you'd sit in the back there and do some studying on the way out there, kind of maximize your time. But if you want to ride the horse there and waste precious time that could be spent studying, I guess that's okay. I just thought better of you.
To be quite honest, all of my research is keeping me at the library. I would like to return to Whiteborough as soon as possible, so the faster this trip can go. In fact, you might as well use that spell of yours that makes Jericho run so fast.
Oh, well, I could do that, but, it's only available for a short time period there, and, you know how things are,
Well, regardless, this is my new horse. Her name is Marion.
And I slap her on the butt as I'm sitting on top of her.
Interesting there. Thinking to myself, can I sap him and just knock him out?
Well, I'm sitting 5
He's
feet
pretty
above you
tall.
right?
Yeah, he's pretty high up there right now.
Quick question. Would I have thought ahead of time to prepare a special pudding that would put him to sleep?
Okay, what are you gonna use? Like, do you have alchemy
Drugs.
tools? Do you have alchemy
Yes.
tool?
I have an alchemy kit. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotta look some stuff up here. I'm gonna give you a luck roll. Why don't you roll a d20? You might have thought ahead. Give me a d20 on a 10 plus. You thought ahead of this. Otherwise, you did not.
Yes.
Okay, he did think ahead to
Backup plan.
make it.
Struck him.
How well did you make it, though, is the real important question here. So I create
I would have taken my time.
a poison, which is what this is. You're basically creating a poison. It's going to cost you... Character can spend money to collect raw materials, which weigh 1 pound for every 50 gold spent. Character can allow the character to make check using advantage indicated or using an indicated skill with advantage. For a long rest, you can use alchemist supplies to make some sort of dose of acid, blah 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 blah. We're assuming sleep potion. Subtract half the value of the created item from the total gold worth of raw materials used. So this is still going to be kind of an expensive one. So what does a vial of poison cost? I need to look that up.
Oh, hopefully it's not that much. Most expensive pudding I ever made.
A vial of poison is 100 gold pieces. So technically, you need to. It's half of it, so you need to spend 50 gold to make one vial of poison. And then I need you to make me an alchemist tools roll.
I roll the alchemy kit and then take the gold off.
Yeah.
Boom.
A 20. Yeah, you have no issue with creating a sleeping pudding.
This is fucked up. This is beyond. This is beyond the line of duty at this point.
Oh, hey there. I think before we go, we should celebrate. You still owe me that favor there, as being my best man. How about some pudding here?
Oh.
This is one of my finest and most expensive puddings that have ever been crafted by the Caradwell family. It'd be a great insult if you didn't take it.
Now,
I have one here
Magnus,
for myself as well.
I mean, he's in the same sense. He seems to be really laying it on you. He especially offering you the finest pudding. I don't think Luke typically would do. So, Luke, would you give me a deception check? And Magnus, would you give me an insight check?
I think regardless of what he says, I've been meaning to bring this up for a couple sessions anyway.
Go.
So Magnus kind of looks at the pudding reluctantly and is like,
Luke, look, I don't know how to tell you this. I've been trying to say it. Been trying to say it for a while, and the wedding was just the final straw. I don't like pudding. I don't like elven pudding. It's fucking disgusting, Luke. It's gross.
Have you ever had that pudding there? Have you ever had the elvish pudding there?
Yes, I was at your wedding.
I don't think you actually had this kind of pudding. This is the guest have. But if you want to insult me, I could just do this alone. And you can just. I mean, if you're going to insult me there, how can I manage to watch? You watch my back if you're going to just
opposed persuasion check.
Spit on my own.
Sure. I mean, if you want to roll in a sense an insight, Magnus, versus a persuasion, I'll let you do.
But you're
I'll let you do either one.
You're trying to persuade me into it by guilting me.
I mean,
you're guilting me by being your best man. It's different. I would say that's persuasion. You're not lying about anything.
Question.
Yes.
How long does it take for it to be in effect?
It probably takes a solid. He rolled a 20, so it's pretty quick acting.
Opposed perception check.
I'd say it'd be about a minute before it took effect. Just to feel it.
Should we roll?
Yes, go in.
Oh, you're gonna beat me,
Magnus.
Do I get advantage?
To be fair, though, Magnus, you rolled perception.
Oh, I did. Okay, I did. Okay, I'll reroll. I actually probably roll better. Sorry.
He has a 0 in persuasion and a 3 in perception. So, you're really convinced, Magnus, that, I mean, you've heard him say that you insult me all the time if you don't do this thing for me.
Wait, why am I convinced? I beat him.
Heard me say that before.
Well, no, you're convinced that, you're in a sense you convince yourself, he always says that he's insulted all the time. And he's never really insulted. Doesn't really mean anything. That's kind of what you convince yourself. Yeah.
Man has no feelings.
So it looks like Magnus might be riding along on the horsey, right next to him.
All right, I'm going to take it to Beggar's Hollow, whether he's coming or not.
Mm-hmm. So, Luke, since you're the one leading the charge, would you please give me a survival check?
I want to say at the end of this little confrontation, Magnus reaches down from the horse and puts his hand on Luke's head, and he's like,
I'm sorry, Luke. You're my friend. I don't like that fucking pudding.
I don't respond in any way, shape, or form.
I'm sorry, friend. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Takes the cart. Going to Beggar's Hollow.
You're going to Beggar's Hollow. Okay. So you guys travel for a good ways. The first leg of the journey goes by uneventfully. Also, you guys hearing music? Because I am not hearing anything on my side.
I heard it just ended, whatever the song was.
Try playing one more time here.
Oops.
Okay, but we got something. All right. I'm assuming Elle is on the back of the wagon. Magnus is on the side. As you guys travel, yeah, for the first leg of the journey, it goes by uneventfully. You do hit the crossroads. Magnus, would you roll me a survival check? I want to see if you're able to, if you really kind of, it's pretty obvious. So I'll give you an advantage on the survival check to realize that they're going west instead of south. Like they're turning too early and going the wrong way. I feel like maybe if you weren't really paying attention, you might not notice it, which is kind of the idea behind this.
Hold on 1 second here. I lost my. There it is. My game window. I don't get advantage or anything based on how.
I give you advantage, yeah.
Oh, okay. I said based on how incredibly fucking stupid this is.
Yes, you get
Survival
advantage on
check.
this one. Yeah.
Thank you. There we go.
19. Yeah, I definitely think you realize that they turn and start heading west a lot earlier. Like you're expecting to hit Valden before you go towards East Hollow.
Hey, excuse me, guys. Where are you going? We've barely made it 500 paces from the front of Whiteborough. We're going to East Hollow, right, Elle?
It's a shortcut there. Continue going where I'm going, saying nothing else.
No, it's not. That's the road to Beggar's Hole.
Oh,
Keep going.
it's a possibility I may have mixed the two towns up. Maybe the map was upside down.
Would you roll me a deception check, please, Elle? So, yeah, Elle doesn't seem to be completely truthful with you right now, Charlie. Not Charlie, but Magnus. Which, that kind of hurts a little bit, because she's usually the one you can kind of go to and trust.
Magnus like crosses his arms in kind of anger, sitting on top of his horse, and I say,
Elle Clark, you better not be lying to me right now. Tell me the truth. Luke, what's going on here? This is no way to conduct guild business.
Intimidation. Intimidation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't
Goes
talk
on
to
a pillow.
non-pudding eaters.
Well,
Keep
I
going.
don't talk to liars.
So you're kind of at a standstill, just staring back at each other.
I'm still riding the.
Yeah, Luke
cart
just continues to
out there.
trot onwards. Elle, you're on the back of the cart. Like you're slowly getting pulled away from Magnus, who's like sitting there on his horse at the
Magnus yells.
crossroads.
You will stop this cart and talk to me now.
I'll jump off.
Right, so you hop off the
I'm gonna
back.
still take the cart and keep going.
Bring back my mule, Jericho.
Magnus, we need your help, but I don't think you would agree to this.
Did you ever consider asking me?
You made your dislike of this mission quite apparent.
Yes, well, I don't like people either, but I'm working with you. I'm an adult, and I'm capable of doing things I don't like, and I'd appreciate being treated as such. Harumph.
Well, despite our little mishap, would you please join us in Beggar's Hole to defeat the rat?
I don't want to go anywhere with that liar. Look at him taking my mule. I say we let him go on his own and let the rats kill him.
Fair, I didn't lie to you about where we were going in any way, shape, or form. Just to be fair.
"Yeah, but you are refusing to talk to me and stealing my mule and my cart.
You said my pudding was garbage.
It's not even all pudding."
You don't know that.
It says it right on the can.
Not in the can I gave you.
He scribbled it out, scratched out.
Now 100% pudding.
I really don't know what Magnus would do in this situation. Magnus,
Well, I'll come along, but when we get back, I'm reporting Luke to Theron. And I'm going to send a letter back to the headquarters. This is no way to conduct guild business.
And then he gives one more big harumph and starts trotting on his horse. 200 paces behind the cart.
Yeah, so okay. So you go behind the cart for a good chunk of the way. This
I'm gonna smack the horse's butt, make it go faster.
Well, I hopped off, so I'm hoping this horse is big enough for a human and a dwarf.
It's not a
a
dwarf.
gnome.
He's a gnome.
Whatever, a small thing.
Okay. It's uncomfortable, but I mean, it's definitely possible. He's small enough. It's like having a child, like you have him like in your lap, or he's like sitting behind you, like hugged around your waist. Magnus, which way would you prefer to be sitting with this, if you even allow her on the horse?
I would just ride her up to the cart and then tell her, get off! And then I'd pull the horse around, go 500 feet away, pull it around again, and keep trailing behind them from a distance.
Okay.
And as I turn the horse around and trot away from the cart, I'd say, stupid boob, can't even stop the cart. And then grumble to myself as I pull away.
Elle, I think that kind of went better than we thought it was gonna go.
Better than we. It could have gone so much better.
Yeah, but think of it this way: it could have gone a lot worse.
How?
He could have taken his cart back. He could have insisted on driving. He
Taking
could have. He could have just, necrotic shouted us and kind of just murdered us, or taking his mule. Lots of things could have happened there. You should be thankful for what we've gotten already.
I'm at least thankful that he still decided to come along.
Yeah.
Okay. That is kind of like where the conversation ends, as you guys start to ride in a little bit of silence. Magnus way in the back. On the rare occasion, you hear the harumph noise from Magnus in the background. It's like he's kind of mumbling to himself, a little angry, and he just keeps thinking about it. So it's like, rah!
He's a class A powder. I'll tell you that.
So a couple days or a day goes by. Luke, would you give me another survival roll? An 11. Okay, so it's still good enough to keep on track without really running into too much. Magnus, at night, are you like resting with the group still, and then just falling, like trailing behind at the end, or how are you doing? Like at nighttime,
Yeah.
What are you doing with the group?
I think I would hang out in camp, as close to the fire as I could stand to be, without choking Luke. But
Okay.
I am definitely not talking to him.
Okay. I think you both get that feeling of just, you guys really hurt Magnus. Like in this. Like, you did it as, you thought it was a good thing for him to not know where you were going. But you can see that it hurts him. His heart's breaking a little bit. This is why he's so angry. He's just kind of holding on to
Oh,
it.
hey there, conscience, shut up. You're not wanted, you hoser.
Can I go and talk to him, even if it's not to his face, like to his back or something?
Yeah.
To a point where he can hear me.
Magnus, are you facing away from the group?
Definitely back turned to the group. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Just sitting, on my bedroll.
Do you can try talking back to his back? Do you try sitting next to him? What do you do, Elle?
I'm gonna throw empty cans of pudding at him after I finish eating them.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stand behind him to not invade his space too
Mhm.
much. Magnus,
Clink, 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 clink.
I assume that you're not going to talk to me, but I'd like to make it known that I do apologize, and I thought this would be better for you to just not know and then realize it once we get there, or here.
There, you're still on your way.
Okay.
This is, I'm assuming this is happening on maybe the first night, if not the second night for sure.
And I will admit it was an error in my judgment. So I deeply apologize for breaking your trust with me. And I hope that you'll consider talking to us soon.
I too would like to have a conversation.
Clank, 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 as another can comes flying next to you.
Magnus like turns even further away from Elle, like scoots his butt a little bit away from her.
Okay.
I
Elle,
wish to have a conversation here.
Elle, you go back to the campfire. Luke, do you like get up and like walk over to collect the cans and then say like that's your excuse to go over there and speak to him is to collect the cans? You're not just going over there to talk to him normally. You know, you can't do that. No.
Oh, me?
Yeah. You like walk over and like pretend to collect the cans and
No,
you,
no.
like,
I'm
say
walking
something.
over there with that bottle of, sherry brandy that he loves as a peace offering.
Do you have the sherry brandy on you?
I do. I bought it. Remember? I stopped in town and bought a moderately priced bottle.
You did buy it
for 5 gold.
that he has not used, so you do have one on you.
Yes.
Magnus is smoking pipe weed.
All right, I pour him a glass. Oh, hey there, you know what's really good with your pipe weed there is some good old... Does he like sherry or does he like brandy?
He likes brandy.
Brandy, there we go. I got some brandy there for
But it
you.
was wine that you bought.
No, it was like a brandy whatever.
You bought a wine.
Whatever, I said sherry or brandy because it's whatever his favorite thing was and I totally forgot, so I just said sherry brandy.
It was not brandy.
Hey
It's
there,
wine.
So,
It's
you
wine.
want some, do you want some... No, it's brandy. Shut up. Ruiner of things. Hey there, do you want some of this delicious, brandy?
Harumph.
Like Magnus scoots a little further away. I'm assuming you're
Oh,
talking
come
to my
on,
back.
don't be so mad there. Think of all the awesome things we're gonna find there in this adventure. You're gonna be so glad you went there, and if you're not, then you know what? You should be glad because you got good company, That's kind of like what us halflings are known for. We like to have this whole idea of family, And your family, there's no reason to be pouty about it.
Magnus uses his little stubby arms to stand up and knocks his pipe out on a stump next to him and like says over his shoulder,
Elle, I'm going for a walk. I have to use the restroom. I'll be back soon.
I don't
And then I
think
just start
that's a
walking
good
away.
idea there. Hey, don't go out there. That's dangerous. You don't know what's out there. Come on. You said my pudding was garbage. That's that. It's only fair is fair.
Magnus walks into the woods, finds a nice tree, and doesn't even use the bathroom, just sits down behind it, further away from Luke.
Okay.
Hey, Magnus, can I go through your stuff since you're gone?
No answer.
All right, I'm going through shit.
I have my journal with me and my component pouch.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just
I'm
your
going
it's
through
just your
all the
backpack.
shit that's on the cart he left there.
So what does he see, Magnus?
Let's see. 5 wreaths of garlic.
Taking that.
Let's see. There's really not much. I guess my rations, 10 rations.
I'm gonna put that in the safe. Can't have squirrels eating it.
Better safe than sorry. I understand, Luke.
I'm assuming my dagger's probably on me.
It would probably be
Measuring
on you.
tape in the cart, a spade in the cart, my shovel, my trusty shovel,
Your trusty shovel or my trusty shovel? Goes
and
in
then
the bag,
also
I think.
an explorer's pack is in the cart.
I'm just gonna shove all that shit into my bag of holding. Shove it all in.
Okay. So I'm assuming this is the first night where all this happens.
Sure.
Magnus, you wake, or when you eventually return to camp after a bit of you think it's long enough, you do notice that I think you had your pack, and you notice that when you pick it up, it feels a little light. And you look inside, and it's missing like your 5 wreaths of garlic. And then
It's empty of everything else too, right? So you took
he
everything.
basically took everything. The backpack.
Everything.
I mean, actually, the backpack's gone. He just shoved the backpack in there too. So your backpack's gone, and then you look at the cart, and everything on the cart that's yours that you can like quickly recognize is missing.
Can I make an investigation check to see if I think it was stolen or if I think it was Luke being a baby?
Sure.
It's
You
not
might
me being a baby.
like tracks and stuff like that.
Can I do a sleight of hand to see how well I did it then?
No, because technically it's like your footprints and stuff like that. Also, he didn't see
It's
you.
on a cart. How do you
He
see footprints on
didn't
a
see
cart
it,
that
but
obviously
it's
there
like
was
where the
holes on it?
backpack was.
In my mind, investigation is just putting two and two together. It's just putting one fact and another fact and realizing they have
Yeah.
Right, fine.
You
connection.
you did it quite stealthily. He didn't see you do it, so your sleight of hand succeeded with no
I'm just
problem.
not a dummy, and I know you're being a baby.
Yeah, you kind of realize it probably was Luke. You also remember that he took the bag of holding from the rewards you guys got.
But also, part of me secretly hopes it's Luke, and I'm not actually wrong, and everything's stolen. There's like a small part of me, but I'm still way too prideful to go say something. So I don't say anything. I just go lay back on my bedroll.
Oh, took that too.
You didn't say you took that.
You did not say that.
Plus, that was separate of the cart. That was like...
No, I said I took everything that was on the cart that wasn't on him. Let's see
Yeah,
what's
it wasn't on the cart. It was on the ground, like 50 feet away. I was sitting on my bedroll when you approached me.
You didn't mention bedroll, so we're not going with bedroll.
Alright, whatever. I have everything else.
Petty.
Whatever.
All right.
Continue on. Onward
bet.
and downward.
Magnus cuddles up, goes to sleep for the night.
Okay. I'm assuming Elle and Luke, you guys don't have any kind of conversation at all, nothing like that.
I don't know what to say.
Okay. So dawn comes with rosy fingers as the next day goes by. You've already rolled your survival check for it. It actually goes by quite uneventfully until the night. You guys are back in your camp where you're at on the map right now. You're just off the road, maybe like 15 feet. There are trees on both sides of you, and it's getting ready to kind of curve up and make to the right. You have your little campfire lit. You're preparing dinner at this point, so no one's resting. There's no real watch. Magnus is probably still facing like away, reading his journal, just trying to not yell at Luke. When you all hear footsteps coming from the north.
I go and I hide.
Okay, so you go run to hide in the
Yes.
bush. Okay.
Magnus casts mage armor on himself and then yells out, "Who's there?"
Goes, there is someone at the fire. I saw it in the distance. Hello. I mean no harm. When he comes walking into the light, his hands are like up in the air. It is a man. He's got brown hair, kind of a scraggly looking beard. Looks a little probably in his 40s or so. He's a human. Goes, I did not mean to intrude. He has a pack on his back, and he's got like a little like walking stick, like stuck between it. He goes, I'm just a traveler. I mean no harm.
Normally stride into people's camps in the middle of the night without asking for permission or announcing yourself.
Well, I mean that was the intent, but I guess you guys heard me before I had a chance to let you know that I was here. I mean no harm by it. I just wanted to know. I was hiding over there, and he kind of points off into the darkness, just with no light, no thing. But I figured having someone place to sleep that's safe tonight with people would be better than praying I don't get caught by anything in the darkness. He goes, "My name's Dorian. I mean no harm." He slowly reaches for his backpack and like puts it on the ground to the side, and like, if you want, you can check.
Magnus relaxes a little bit, and I turn to Elle and I say, "Elle, grab the backpack."
Oh.
Hey, you grab the backpack. He has his hands up. He makes no motion to reach for you as you go to grab it. You search through it. It has a real odd assortment of things inside. You see some like makeshift like tools made of rocks and wood. You see like a half of a picture, and there's a little bit of like dried bits of bread that he looks to have for rations. In a sense, he has nothing of real value from what you can see. Elle, as you actually walked closer to him, you saw that the clothes he's in are very ragged.
What's it look like, Elle?
I assume I walk back to Magnus at this
Yeah,
point.
you kind of checked through it. I mean, you didn't check through it right next to him. You just like pulled it back over by them.
I'm
and
assuming
like
I saw you
it.
check it, and I was like,
What's it look like? He seemed clean.
Nothing to do any harm with.
All right. What was your name again, friend?
The name is Dorian. Can I put my hands down?
Yes. Forgive us,
Thanks.
Dorian.
He stretches them out.
You understand? It's literally in the middle of the night.
Oh no,
We're
I do.
camping.
I do understand. I mean, figured this, like I said, this would be the safest way for me, you know, to make it through the night.
My name is Magnus and Marigold Munch, but Magnus to my friends. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
It's a pleasure to meet yours, Magnus.
What brings you to our camp on this evening, Dorian?
I am actually on a journey. I'm heading to Wolfpine. Heard there was some work there after whatever happened, and I figured I could make some money and maybe find a new place to live.
Oh, going
Beggar's
to work
Holes.
in the monastery, the Garden of Stones.
I mean, I would just work in the town, to be honest.
That was where we did set up the.
No. Wolfpine was where the bandits and you found Valna.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So he's like,
After the raid, yeah. Oh, so Magnus is like,
Oh, they desperately need your help. That's very noble of you.
that's good. That's good news to hear. Yeah. So I decided to head off from Beggar's Hole. It's not safe there anymore. Food's becoming more scarce. There's more and more rats, and it's just better for me to leave. I mean, I can survive out here easier than I can survive there right now.
as soon as he says that, you see like Magnus like chokes back a gag.
Yeah, are you okay?
It's just I can't stand the thought of vermin. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Jazzy, Elle, maybe you should skip the rest of the details.
Like Magnus like, walks towards the edge of the camp, like hands on his knees, like
Hyperventilating, yeah.
trying not to throw up.
Luke, do you come out of the bushes?
Nope, I don't trust anybody ever.
Okay. Luke doesn't trust anybody, so he's sitting there cautiously awaiting. Yeah, Elle, he looks at you and goes, I mean, what else do you want to know?
Is Beggar's Hole where you're originally from?
No. I'm not normally originally from this country. When I used to be a merchant at one point, but I fell on hard times and couldn't get back on my feet. And the only place they really accept beggars anywhere that you can live as not a street rat, in a sense, is Beggar's Hole, where everybody's treated the same. So I was there, but it's not safe anymore. So it's time for me to leave.
Also, G says he doesn't like you when you wear your purple wig.
So, how long have you been Beggar's Hole?
It's been 4 years, something like that. I lost track. We don't really have any real. There's no point in counting the days.
And when did the problem with the rats start?
Oh, I mean, it really started probably 3 months ago, or so. Which you guys realize is about 2 months. After you guys arrived, or a month after you guys arrived. Just you've been here for roughly about 2 months now. It was about 3 months ago or so. It was a few rats here and there before. I mean, they've always been there, but never in the abundance that they have. I mean, you kill a couple, and then a couple replace it. In this case, you try to kill them, and I mean, I haven't seen a dead one. I couldn't tell you how long.
So, how many people would you say are still in Beggar's Hole?
Most of them. No one's died yet, but then there's less and less food. Those rats are getting more and more vicious, and there's becoming more and more of them. So I mean, I would assume soon it might be everybody will have to leave soon, is my guess.
Magnus wants to reapproach, a little bit winded, and interject, and it's like,
why were the rats so dangerous? I've never heard of vermin being that dangerous before.
And it's not as much a single rat that's the problem. It's like swarms of rats. They come in, they steal all the food you've collected for the day, and then they some have been bitten, and then they just scurry off back into the little like coves and other areas of the town.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Elle.
I turn around again.
Yeah. Luke, since you're the one kind of keeping an eye on because you don't trust anyone, would you give me a perception check?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so Luke, you hear from behind you in these bushes, you start to hear kind of a rustle, from behind, and you kind of hear and it's not that far behind you. Like, it got decently close, whatever this thing is.
Am I stealth enough to where I think it's gonna not come through the bush?
It sounds like it's heading basically in your direction towards the campfire. So more than likely you made a crossing paths with whatever this is.
So it's gonna like walk across me, you're saying?
You're kind of in the pathway of it. And at that same point you hear another voice is, and it sounds like there's more than one of them.
Ooh.
You may have even recognized the what they're. You might recognize the language, but you may not understand what they're saying. What language?
What language does it sound like?
What language do you understand?
I understand Elvish, Common, and Halfling.
No, it is not one you might recognize it, but you don't understand what they're saying. Why don't you give me
What
a
language does it seem to be?
give me an intelligence check, just a straight intelligence check. 8. You're not sure. And the kind of panic of keeping an eye on him and hearing in the kind of the back of, like, behind you through, ears, you're not sure exactly what they're saying. It's almost muffled a little bit too.
Alright.
What do you do?
In the Luke fashion, I'm going to take a look with my dark vision goggles.
Alright. For the most part, you see decently thick brush behind you. It's not really easy to see through. Anything that's back there.
Anything seem like it's rustling because I'm going to shoot in that direction secretly from the dark.
You can kind of hear where it's coming from, but in a sense they have cover from all the bushes and trees and stuff like that. They're getting close, but it's pretty thick past where you're going.
What do I do? I guess I'm going to try to just like hide and move around to flank them.
Right now, you're
kind of like
you're directly east of the campfire. There's brush to the north and there's brush to the south. Either way you go.
Okay, I'm going to take. I imagine there's like stones or pebbles on the ground.
Yeah, there's probably like a rock or something you'd find if you're looking for one really quick.
Throwing it at whoever's closest to me.
I think you'd probably throw it towards the hope I didn't do that. Towards like the campfire itself, which is where Magnus, Dorian, and Elle are all at in the first place.
Just throw it at one of them, try to get their attention.
Okay, so you throw it at them really quick. You guys, Magnus, you're over by like the road, just like Elle, you're speaking to Dorian right next to him and stuff like that, and then you throw it, and then what do, Luke? They're getting closer and closer at this point.
He threw a stone at me?
He threw a stone towards the camp, which would be like Elle and
They
Dorian.
can see me, I do like a quick wave and then point behind them and be like...
My friend seems to be doing some odd movements which would lead me to believe he's found something. So, excuse me while I go see what's going on. And
All right.
Magnus!
Yes?
Chiefing my pipe, look up over my shoulder.
I think we should go to where Luke is. He seems to be having some issues with something.
Luke is maybe like 10 feet from you in the bushes. Luke, you like throw the rock, wave, then do you move, or do you stay where you're at?
Kind of like throw it, like I'm like leaned up against a tree in the brush.
And you just stay where you're at.
Like gun ready to fire, yeah.
Okay. So this is at the same point. She's like, we should go check it out. These little itty bitty creatures, about the same size as you, Luke, come out with their green skin, their long pointy ears, as you see goblins sneaking up through the lower brush, getting ready to ambush.
See one now?
You see them literally, like 2 of them come through the bush at the same time. We're gonna
Blast 'em.
roll initiative.
Man, I was thinking it was gonna be the little nilbog things that killed us in episode 2.
Oh no. Aaron, I did state that I was ready to take a shot
Hey, cat. I know.
in case things
But we're
go
still
south.
gonna roll initiative
Don't you know
first,
that?
just to roll.
Okay.
I will move you guys over to the map. We're gonna use our faithful road maps again.
Yay.
We gotta switch up the
Yay,
music.
roadmap.
You guys
all
are
that
already
shit on the
positioned in the
PC.
places where you are gonna be at. One of these goblins will be moved here. As also because I didn't stealth the other. Like it's coming like I guess it could be right here. I'm more with that.
Boo.
You guys see no other things.
A
Yep.
7.
The other goblins themselves pass your guys' passive perception and Luke's perception, so they're prepared for the ambush. Whereas Luke is also. Both Magnus, Dorian, and Elle will be surprised. So in a sense, three of the goblins will act first. Luke will act, and then we'll go into initiative order. This is the plan.
Oh, so they're already ready to act first, even
A
though
couple
I've
of them
already
are.
said I was.
Well, no, 3 of them that you don't know where they're at are ready. The other 2 that are like
Okay.
still moving forward that you notice are the one you're going to be
Gotcha.
shooting at. Okay. Music time. Okay, so Luke, you get your free shot first as it starts to move forward.
Do I get
You have
advantage?
advantage because you are
Sneak attack?
stealth. You shoot,
Yes.
and you watch as it just envelops them in this
Get
thunderous like flame, and it turns and it just looks at you. It's, it seemed to like the main damaging part of the blast seemed to have missed him and just hit like just on a different spot. So you actually did not hit. Close, but you missed. As Magnus, one goblin shoots at you, one shoots at Dorian, and one shoots at
Is that-
Elle.
Little
I don't
bastard.
still get a movement action?
No, in a sense, the surprise you get your shot and then go, and then we're gonna do initiative. So
Okay.
that's kind of how it'll go. So it'll be a shot on each of the other 3 players. Let's make sure this. First one's Magnus. A 14. You have your mage armor on, so I don't know if that hits or not.
Let me double check that. Looks like I'm a 14 with mage armor.
Okay. So yeah, it shoots. It hits you for 5 piercing as an arrow from the left side hits you.
Okay.
This one's gonna be Dorian. 22 for 4. As Dorian gets hit for 4 damage. And then the last one behind you, look, you hear an arrow fly by you towards Elle with a 10, and it lands in the campfire and just burns up.
Ooh.
And then we start the initiative order. Luke, you are first.
Oh, I heard the one behind me.
You heard him behind you, yeah.
I tumble out of the brush, reloading in the process. I go 1, 2, 3 here.
Okay.
Shoot this one here. Clear shot, line of sight.
I'm sorry, stream. You guys aren't gonna be able to see this. Let me fix that. Okay. Turn, you shoot towards him. A
Boom.
10, yeah, it hits a tree stump you couldn't see because of the brush, and it blocks the attack from hitting the goblin.
Okay.
A 10 does not hit. Okay. You gonna move anywhere else? Is that your turn? You still have 10 feet of movement.
I think I can move. Boom.
Okay. Elle, you are up.
Can I see them? Are like any of them hidden?
No, they have not had their turn yet, so none of them are hidden right now. They're all visible to you at this point. Actually, I lied. The only one who's not visible is the farthest one to the south, east. But all the other 4 you can see. If you go into the brush, it's heavy terrain for you since you are tall compared to the rest of them. Everybody else has normal movement.
Being short has its advantages.
So what does that mean?
So it takes double,
Oh.
so it's like 10 feet of movement in each like square where the brush is, instead of 5 feet.
Okay. So if I go like here.
Yeah, there's no heavy terrain, nothing like that, and you're still able to get an attack on them.
I will do a nice little swing.
Okay. A 19. It's a nice little swing As you just come walking forward, pull the sword out, and just swing straight down with one hand and just slice him right in half,
Oh man.
crushing him. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Probably move back toward the fuego.
Okay. It's now the
Fuego.
goblins' turn. Okay, so the goblins, with how the group is set up, two of them, in the back, one's gonna shoot at Magnus, one's gonna shoot at Luke. First one's Magnus. A 6, so yeah, it shoots, sails over your head, and plants right between you and the fire. Next one is Luke. 20. It shoots, it hits you in the back because you weren't aware of those ones. And you take 7 piercing damage as an arrow stabs you there. This one's Dorian. A 23 for 3. Dorian is looking quite bloodied as he now has 2 arrows in his chest and he's starting to cough up blood. I thought it would be safe. And then the last one is on Elle, as this one's going to move out this way. Over here. And he actually doesn't move. He's not going to move it right. He's going to shoot you, Elle. A 6. Sails over, burns up in the fire. And then all the goblins, you're going to use the bonus action to try to hide. So, I'm going to roll 4 stealth checks. I'm going to go 2 on the left and then 2 on the right. From bottom to top. I'm going to roll them hidden so you guys don't know what the rolls are, but stream will see them.
You going off passives?
Yes. So, what is Magnus, Luke, and Elle? What are your passives? Are any of
10
them?
11.
10 plus wisdom plus proficiency if you have it, right?
If you're proficient in.
Mine's 13.
Okay.
That's 11.
Okay. Elle, what's yours? It's down below the stats.
10 plus your wisdom. And if you're proficient in perception, you can add 2.
And if you scroll down just below all the normal stats on the left side, it's right at the bottom of it.
Oh, I didn't even see it. Oh, that's new.
Mhm.
Thir-
Go ahead, Elle.
I've
Thir-
never noticed that. Sorry.
13. Yeah. Okay. So, only one vanishes for all of you, and that's the one at the top. So the other ones, they go scurrying off, try to hide. Thinking they're doing quite a good job. And then the last one, you aren't sure where he went. Lucas, the one that hit Dorian. Maybe that's why you guys aren't paying attention to him so much. And he goes and hides somewhere else. So, Magnus, you're up.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I rolled a 10, 11, and a 7 on their stealths.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
Did their turn disappear?
They're in the GM layer, so it disappears their roll. But they're still in the order.
See. I don't know which one is better to hit here. I guess I'm gonna go for the one to the very top left of me.
Okay. This one that's been shooting at, that shot at Luke last.
Yeah, up here. And Magnus is gonna fire off. I'm just gonna use a cantrip. Gonna fire off a ray of frost.
Okay. 17 hits for 2.
And he's slowed.
He's now slowed, yes.
And then also Magnus is gonna use his movement, and if he can, he's gonna climb up into the top of the cart, so as to hopefully have a little bit of cover on his lower half and a little bit higher vantage point across the woods.
Sure, it's easy enough to do. So from the goblin, I would say, but really the goblin you're not sure where it's at would be the only one that maybe would have you wouldn't have cover against. But the other 3 that are on the map that you can see, you'd have at least half cover on.
Cool, great. He's happy with that. He can see a little better, you know.
Mm-hmm.
See over the horses for once. And that's my turn.
Okay, Luke, you are up.
Luke exhales, trying to steady his shot. Turns over his shoulder, trying to pick one off.
Sorry.
Oh,
There you go.
22 for 11, and that's the one over there. So yeah, this one you turn, you aim, the shot rings true. It blows a hole in its chest as it like smiles that you missed, and then looks down in panic, and then collapses.
Which one did he kill?
One to the top left, as far as that's what I understood.
Same one I was shooting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he goes down.
And since I can't see any others, I'm going to then boom.
Well, you can see the other 3, or the other 2 to the south.
Boom. Moving down to there.
I'm gonna zoom out for the stream so they can see this better.
Taking some sort of coverage behind the cart, but trying to shoot this one next. To move into position.
Okay.
And that will end my turn. Boom.
Okay, Elle, you are up. What do you do? You boop your way over that way.
Bonk.
Yeah, same thing.
The old boop and bonk.
You just
is a
take the
classic.
sword. It's like sliding on the ground. You're like skipping towards him and just swing upwards, slicing through him at an angle. And he falls to the ground and he dies also because you're just crushing through them right now.
That's A+ booping and bonking there, Al.
Mm-hmm. All right, the goblins are up. It's going to skip to Magnus, but it is the goblins' turn. So the goblins will make their move. The one that's over here is going to take a shot at Luke because he's not covered right now.
The hidden one?
The one to the left. No, the one to the left. Luke and you. It's whispered, but it's a 22 for 6, Luke.
Okay.
And then there's only one other one left.
Is Luke visibly bloodied?
Yeah. He's definitely visibly bloody. He's got 2 arrows in him. The blood's starting to trickle down. He's tired. He's having a hard time breathing as they punctured into his lung. And then you watch his Dorian like, where'd he go? Where'd he go? As the goblin appears in the back and shoots with advantage at Dorian. The 23 for 8. As Dorian's, where'd he go? Where'd he go? And you just watch an arrow pierce right through one ear, out the other. And he just falls and slumps to the ground.
Goodbye,
So you
Dorian.
don't talk to people.
That's why you don't make friends with anyone, because they will get shot through the head with an arrow.
Mhm.
Hey, the moment you name it, man, it's impossible to kill it.
Alright, they're going to both try to hide again, so I'm going to roll 2 stealth rolls. Okay, and yeah, and both of them this time disappear from your view. And move somewhere. Okay, Magnus, you are up.
Alright, Magnus is... Hold on, let me take a quick gander at my spell list again. He's going to use this turn to go ahead and cast False Life on himself.
Okay.
And it doesn't show it in the roll, but it rolls
It
it
automatically
automatically
shows
and
it, right.
puts it in my bubble. I got 5 hit points.
Okay. And that's your turn?
And, well, let me see here. Is that... It is an action. Yep. Magnus is going to hunker down and just turn right there.
Okay. Luke, you're up.
Alright, I can't see any of them.
You do not see the other 2 that are left right now. You can use your
At
action
all?
to do a perception check to maybe find one. And you can point it out to Elle.
Could he do a blind fighting attack at one?
He could try doing a random, like, I want to shoot my gun at this square. He could try doing that.
I mean, technically, even creatures with invisibility, you only have disadvantage against.
Correct. But in this sense, he doesn't know which square it's on, so he has to pick a square. And
It's
if
a
he's
blind shot at a square, yeah.
Alright, so you cure wounds on yourself, Luke, and heal yourself for 9. Very nice. You just took 9 off of your character's health. Luke just died, guys.
No,
Rip.
sorry.
Rip.
There we go.
Okay,
I did
so
some minus some plus.
alright, and then do you move anywhere, Luke, or is that all you're gonna do?
I dive under the cart.
Alright, so dive under the cart. So you're prone.
Reloading my weapon.
Range attacks will have disadvantage against you now.
Alright. I also would like to
And
say
you
I
have some
full
cover.
coverage from the side.
From the far south,
From these sides.
From the south, you do, yes. South, east, and west. From the north, east, and west, you do not. You just have like partial cover. I mean,
'Cause
like
I'm
half.
kind of under him, but I can't. I don't really.
Yeah,
want
no,
to
I get
him.
what you were doing.
Yeah.
So it's half for that and full for behind. All right, Elle, you're up.
I suppose I'll just kind of dash and move this way.
Okay. Okay, so you run to that spot. There is not a goblin right next to you at all.
Oh, that's good. Can I?
You can still use your action to do like a perception check to see if you can spot one. Other than that, you could use your action to take the dodge action. You could lay prone, so that way they have disadvantage on your attacks against you, stuff like that.
My perception isn't great, but I'm gonna try it anyway.
Okay. A 10. No, you look around trying to find them. You cannot see them. They're quiet. There's too much noise going on, especially with Dorian in the background, like starting to blood's gurgling out of his mouth and stuff like that. It's kind of covering up any noise they would make. He's dead, like dying. Yes.
Dead,
I mean,
dying, or
if you're
dying?
trying to,
Is he
if you want
dead,
to
or is he
heal him,
mostly dead?
Can I stabilize him?
yeah, I'll give him saving throws. I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I'll do that. I'll do that next.
Okay.
Well,
Whose turn is it?
so is that Elle's turn is over? So I guess it's actually him. Death saving throw, D20. 7. So he's got 1 fail right now. Now we have move that. I'm gonna give him this instead. So there's 1 marker for 1 death save or fail. It is now the goblin's turn. It's not yours, Magnus. So Elle, from farther south of you in the bushes, he appears and he shoots at you. Short bow attack. I don't know why it's Frat Switch Wizard. He rolled a 21. You take 7 piercing damage. It's just like, ah! Shoots it. You get hit on your side. It's painful. The other goblin over here appears and takes a shot at you, Luke. So it's at disadvantage because it cancels out his advantage. So it's a normal shot. And you have half cover, which gives you an extra 2 AC.
Okay, so 16.
21. And if you had 3/4, it still would have hit you. Yeah,
Everything fucking hits
yeah.
me.
So the first one shoots Elle right in the side, and then Luke, you're like looking one way, and you feel it hit into your shoulder. It hits you for 8. They're both going to attempt to hide again. What?
Let's hope you hide, motherfucker.
They are both able to. They both vanish once again. Wait, someone has a 13 perception, correct?
Me.
All right, Magnus, you see the one to the south. I'm gonna. When it's your turn, I will tell you where he's at.
Oops.
Which
Sorry,
I think is actually next. So I won't move him. Well, you can see that one. The other one vanishes from all of your view.
The one to the south.
The one to the north vanishes from all from you. The one from the south is one you can
That's the one I
see.
can see, yeah.
And then I'll move him after you make your turn, since that's the one you can see.
All right. So Magnus is going to. He's torn.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, can you try and stabilize that man?
Oh yeah, I'll take care of that right away there.
Whatever.
Magnus turns back around and shoots a. Let's see. Make sure I have the distance on that. Yeah, ray of sickness at the goblin in the trees there.
Okay. The Ray of Sickness. Make a ranged spell attack against target on a hit. So I need you to make a ranged spell attack. It's not
on a
part of
DC 14. So it's a range and a saving throw? The spell description says, a ray of sickening energy lashes towards a creature within range.
On a failed save, the target is
make a
also
ranged spell
poisoned.
attack.
Yeah.
You got it. So, what's my spell attack? +6. Double check that real fast. Yeah, +6. Here's range spell attack. Yeah.
Nice. A 20. You hit with no problem. He takes 5 poison damage. Okay. He starts to you hit him with it, and he just starts throwing up. I'm gonna make a Constitution saving throw to see if he actually is poisoned by this. I rolled a 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's now poisoned, just like vomiting. But then he like disappears into the brush and ends up somewhere else where the other two. Well, actually, you could have pointed out where he went. So he was actually somewhere around like here.
Okay.
And you can inform the rest of the group where that's at as like a free action. So I'm not going to make him stealth.
Over there! There he is! See him? He's throwing up.
Okay. Luke, you're up.
Okay. Oh, get up. 1, 2.
Okay. So you like crawl out prone.
Sure. So that's what, 10 feet?
Mm-hmm.
15.
15, okay.
It's half my movement to get up. And as an action, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds again on myself.
Okay.
Which means I have no more spell slots available today.
Oh, okay, you're gonna try to stabilize him. I like it.
Hmm?
I said I like it. Go ahead and roll your spell casting for that. For your health.
20 plus.
I'll edit your spells kind of like how Charlie has his, where it'll show the number from now on for the next game.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna fix my ray of sickness right now too, so it rolls the d20 roll.
Cool. All right, you can just roll that when you can, Luke. Let's go ahead and go with Elle. Nice, 9 again. Elle, you are up. You know where that goblin's at. Magnus has pointed it out to you.
So it's fine if I like go
Yeah,
here.
it's just heavy terrain, so it takes you roughly an extra 5 feet of movement, so it's 20 feet instead of 15. And then he's just leaning over, just throwing up as you just lop his head off.
Yes.
Okay. You still have your bonus action if there's anything else you want to do, and an additional movement. You still have 10 feet of movement plus your bonus action.
Wait, was I here? In this square?
So yeah, I lied. You have 15 feet of movement plus your bonus action. It's the bush is extra 5, so it says 10, but it means it's 15.
Yeah. I mean, I may as well dash.
Okay. So to get your normal movement, you're here, and then you have your normal 30 feet of movement from that point on.
Oh. Okay. I
Try to take some cover with the bush, possibly.
yeah.
Not a bad idea. Okay. One more up.
Thank you. Oh.
Yeah. So you have if the goblins anywhere up to the north, you'll have some cover versus them.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna make a roll for Dorian. 4. So that's the second death's fail. One more, and he is officially done for. It's now
I'll be fine next turn.
it's the goblin's turn. He reappears
me.
right here, Luke. You watch him step out of the bush.
Fucker's gonna kill
He's
Dorian.
nothing. Pulls out the short sword from his back
Little
and
shit.
just stabs into Dorian's chest and just twists it.
Oh, he's still not dead yet.
Yeah, it's a
That was a critical
that it's an I'll roll for it, but he has no AC because he has no armor, so he has 8 AC.
So I can't even save the guy next turn?
8 AC and the goblin is advantage.
14, yeah. 17 stabs, twists it. You hear Dorian's last breath just, and then he just slumps and goes limp, and the goblin just smiles and walks back into
He's
here.
no longer mostly dead, he's real
He's
dead.
real dead. And the
Oh.
goblin vanishes as he enters back in to the bushes like Homer Simpson. It is your turn, Magnus.
So he disappeared again?
Yeah,
Out of my view?
he walked forward, stabbed him, and then kind of Homer Simpson back into the bush and disappeared.
Man, I wish I had some big fat AoEs to drop on his head. Let me take a quick
You can guess his movement.
look here. Oh, did I
Went at least 30.
I think I closed out a roll 20 on accident. No, just a different window. Or wait, did I? There we go, sorry. Yeah, so Magnus is going to, let me just double check real fast. But I think I know what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Fuck it, why not? He went right about back into here, right?
He went backwards.
This way somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere there somewhere.
Alright, Magnus is gonna touch himself on the forehead as he casts Dragon's Breath, saying an arcane incantation.
Okay.
And then I'm also gonna use my action to go ahead and breathe a cone right here.
Don't make it fire.
Okay. So what damage type are you making?
Lightning.
Lightning, okay. So yeah, you breathe. Make a roll.
Yes.
I'm not telling you if it actually hit him or not. I'm making the roll either way. He fails, so if he was in that area, he would have taken 7 damage. You don't hear anything cry out though when you do it.
Fuck. Maybe I should have used fire. Would have forced him out.
Is that your turn?
Did I use my full movement? I can't remember. Let me double check. I used, 25 feet. Yeah, I guess that's my turn then.
Okay. Luke, you're up.
Alright, so where was he at the beginning of the turn when he stepped out to stab the guy, and then Homer Simpson back in?
I'll use Dorian to give you an example. So he stepped out to here, and then he went here. I believe, because Dorian was here, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he went here. He went from here to
15,
here.
20,
No, hold on. He went from here to here, which is 5,
5.
and then he went back in, and that's where he vanished. That's all you know.
So wait, he stepped over 2 slots?
Dorian was here.
Okay, so he went in. He did a cone
He
in that
stepped
direction.
out. Yes. So you can.
Alright, I'm going to try to take a shot over Magnus's head to see if I can hit him with a brush.
So like ping
Unless
which
I
one
can
you
do
want.
a perception while shooting.
No.
Which I don't think I can do.
Perception would be an action, but then if you find him, you can tell Elle where he's at.
Is there a torch in the fire?
The campfire's on. There's not a torch now.
Right. I wish to somehow magically throw something flaming into the brush.
I mean, you have a torch in your pack, so you reach into your pack, you light the torch, and you just whip it. Where are you throwing
And I'm
it?
throwing it over in this general direction,
Okay.
near this dead body.
Right? Yeah, you throw it in that general direction. It hits the trees, bounces, and then, or not the tree, but the brush, and then falls onto the ground. You see a little bit of smoke billowing up.
Okay, and then I'm going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Boom. Move down here to protect the horses.
Okay, I like it. Elle, you are up.
I suppose that I will. I'm not on the horse, am I?
Right, no, you're good. The horse's head's in that space, but the body itself is not.
That's actually the mule. The other one's the horse.
Well,
What are you, a taxonomist? Jesus.
Yes.
That is
Apologies.
Jericho.
I guess really all I can do is perception.
Okay. 18, you do spy him, but the only crappy part about it is that the goblin goes next.
I
Still
can.
say something. Like,
You do have your bonus action left, yes, Elle,
Well, I also have 10 feet of movement.
and your bonus action.
ooh, move up right next to him. So if he leaves you, he has to take an attack of opportunity.
Ooh, that's smart.
Yeah, I can dash.
Yeah,
Crowd his
with your
ass.
bonus action, you can do
Don't
that.
dash, just run up next to
She
him.
has to dash to get
I
to you.
have to dash.
She used her, yeah. Yeah, crowd him.
Alright, so you crowd him. It's his turn. So Hero Goblin's turn is now up. And he is going to use his bonus action to disengage from Elle.
Goblin hero!
Ooh.
Way back. He then...
Wait, he's a bonus action at disengage or
Yeah.
a regular action?
No, he uses his bonus
at
action.
disengage.
Disengage, hide. He basically or hide. Those are his
But
two
then he
options.
can't. But yeah, now he can't hide, so that's fine.
Right.
Unless he takes his full action to do it.
Correct. Which you guys kind of see where he runs to. So, yeah, he pulls out the short bow, aims it at you, Magnus, because you are the bigger threat with the dragon head now. It's terrifying.
Yeah. Fuck with my dragon head.
He shoots at you. Ah! Shoots. And it flies over, lands between you and the horse. The horse gets spooked for like a split second. And now it's your turn.
I was hoping it got caught in my mage armor, and then I just knocked it out of the air.
That could also happen.
Let's see. I am going to gnome rush him.
So
And-
much.
Oh,
and
it's
give
in
him-
range.
And give him the lightning breath again. Let's see. You want me to roll the damage again? It was what, 3d6?
Yeah, I need to roll the damage, yeah. What is the save on it? A 14 dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
I roll a 7, so I fail. You have a chance. He might go down.
Sweet. Lightning was what I chose.
7. 7 is enough. He just sees you come, just running. Ah! Ah! And just fire coming right, or lightning into him, and he just gets electrocuted, and then just
Just crackling.
falls to the ground.
All right, I go to put out the fire that I started.
Right, you put out the fire. The it's all like nothing's dried here. It's all really like live vegetation, so it really wouldn't catch fire so easily. So you really
So
use
I don't wanna risk
you
it.
have this small little burn mark where the torch like head like hit.
Excellent. I go and I start to loot the nearest body.
Okay,
Get some information.
sure.
Magnus is gonna chalk this up to just being in the wilds, I think, and gonna return to his bedroll
Okay,
and probably start preparing spells for the morning, since he just, he was like already bedding down for the night, wasn't really planning on using any spells, so I immediately start studying my tome.
okay. So Luke goes to loot the bodies. Elle, what are you doing?
Rest.
Okay, so Luke, you're the only one who's gonna loot the bodies. In total, you find about 3 silver and 7 copper across the 4 of them.
Awesome. That's it.
Yeah, it's all you really find. There's no weird secret message of assassinate these people when they come. Nothing like that. It's just
All right.
It seems
I'm gonna
like they
take their
saw
weapons,
travelers
throw
and
them
were
into the cart.
okay.
I'll say, yeah, stack all their weapons in the cart for sure.
So go ahead and
Yeah,
mark
throw
it.
other weapons in the cart.
Do you guys have
Taking
just
this
a
time.
cart handout or not? I don't think
No.
you do, right?
No.
I'm gonna give you a cart handout so you guys can keep track because that's not really something you guys need to keep. So I'm putting all journals, and this
So
is
if you make a character sheet called cart, and we all have access and can drop items into the inventory, then you can set
That's
its
a better way,
encumbrance to like 1,000 pounds or whatever you want it, 500 pounds,
Right.
whatever you want it to be.
so character sheet.
So while you're doing this, Aaron, after I finish looting and dumping the things in there, I look at Magnus. Yeah, he's too engrossed in his book. Shake my head, disappointment. Dig into my bag of holding, dig into his bag within my bag of holding, get out the shovel and start digging a hole.
Okay. You start digging a hole.
Disappointed in this.
You guys now have a Jericho's cart character sheet in the character section that everybody can see and add to and whatnot. It's kind of assumed
How
everybody
many
can see it.
crossbows do we get?
I can see it.
4 crossbows or 4 short bows is what you got. Which I would suggest doing from the compendium that way. Just kind of
Yeah, just drag and drop them in. Do they have short swords too?
they have
I'm
scimitars.
just gonna put it in the bio and info section just for short.
Yo,
So we can just
I-
put. Okay.
No, like he can drop it it'll drop into the actual inventory of the character sheet.
I'm just gonna put in bio and info. He can put whatever he needs.
But if you go to bio info, it cuts off the map. Okay. So Elle, you go back to sleep. Luke goes and buries the body. It takes you a little bit of time, Luke, since you're doing it all on your own.
I just realized, by the way,
Mhm.
sorry to interrupt, that I have Raxus's spell book. I forgot about
You do.
that.
I even have a nice, pretty like magic item with like a picture of it and everything in the
I
little
see it.
magic
Yeah, I'm
item
looking
section.
at it. do I need to use a downtime action, or can I use a long rest?
I think it would be during like long rest. You can start like studying and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see if I can copy any of the spells from it into my spell book during this
Yeah.
rest.
I'll need to look that up.
Sure.
There's some kind
you
of.
can do that next session or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's true.
That's fine.
But we'll assume you did that, and then we'll figure out what the role is.
Sure, sounds good.
So I meant to look that up, but I forgot to. Okay, yeah. So you guys rest through the night. Eventually, Dorian's body is buried. And you continue on your travels.
Oh, I let him know. I like snap my fingers at him and point to the grave. It's like, hey there, you need to do one of those rituals here for this guy there. We don't want him popping up like a daisy later, to come haunt us.
Magnus is kind of like sighs, knowing that Luke is correct,
Mm-hmm.
and says, "Fine, all right." And then he goes to their grave and burns the appropriate incenses and herbs. Says a little prayer over each one.
Nice. So that is done, and yeah, you guys travel. Wake up the next morning, or you're already woken up. You get all your stuff together. Luke, do you give back all of Magnus's stuff after that night?
For sure.
Okay.
I notice it reappears in the morning, but don't say anything.
Right.
Yeah, nothing to be said.
Nothing to be said.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, it magically reappears, like your backpack's right next to your bedroll, and all your shovel and spade is all back up there. What you might even kind of make a notice of, Magnus, is that how did Luke dig that hole if your shovel was gone? Yeah, that's at least in your back of your mind, you realize that. You know for sure it was Luke that did it from that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you just kind of let it go as you guys arrive in Beggar's Hole. Now, Beggar's Hole is literally, as I said before, more of a ruin than it is a town. The streets are lined with rubble from like the second and third story floors that have just crumbled down. There are tents that are strewn across alleyways to make it like makeshift housing. Most of the first floors of the buildings, as you like kind of travel through it, are missing like one, if not two, walls. And the townsfolk that see you as you kind of come in, like the beggars themselves, kind of eye you warily. You guys travel a little ways into this town. At some point, it seems like it might have been quite large. When you come upon what looks to be like a ragtag group standing in front of you, and there is a woman, kind of in the front line in kind of rusted scale mail. And kind of like they're just kind of like standing in the middle of the road, watching you as you're coming towards them in the carts.
Hey dear, I can polish that up for you if you like.
She goes, and who might you be?
I'm Luke, Luke from the
Cat got your
Shadowguard
tongue,
there.
Luke.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't know. Goes,
Well, that's quite all right there that you don't know. Not everybody's on top of their game. But we're from the Shadowguard here, and we're here to investigate.
you're from the Shadowguard.
Yeah. That's kind of why I pointed to the insignia, and you just kind of ignored it. But that's fine. So we're here to solve your rat there problem. Just point us in the right direction, and we can get started here soon.
Okay, sure, I'll point you in the right direction. Boys, why don't you give me a hand? And they point in every direction possible. Take your pick. We have rats over there. We have rats over there. Over there. I mean, had the Shadowguard or anybody else come to assist us 3 months ago, they would only be over there.
Okay, yeah, but where did they start? Where was the first place that they all started to become a real problem there? That's probably where we should really start,
I mean, that does make sense. The last place we remember seeing them is a place west of town. They do come and go, though. I mean, rats have been here forever, but, I mean, we saw some go into the field that way. We tried hunting them down. I even tried killing him. I could have sworn he should have died, but couldn't find the body.
Oh, right, okay. Well, do you have any men or, women or whatever there, able bodies that are willing to help us call these numbers there?
Able bodies. Why don't you give me a persuasion roll? Quite a difficult one.
I'm not going to do well on that roll. Are you kidding me?
6. No, we have nobody to assist you. We take care of our own. I've already lost 2 men to these things recently. I don't have more to spare for you. If If you're here and you are who you say you are, then I'm sure you can do it yourself. And little lady, did you have something to say?
I was just going to ask if 10 of 5 GP per person would maybe be
Throw
enough.
out the gold. 5 gold pieces for a life, potentially. Roll me a persuasion with advantage.
Ooh. Nope. Ooh, nope.
Looks and goes, our lives are worth more than 5 gold each. 50 gold per person, and you have yourself a deal.
I think we'll have a go at it on our own first.
I think you shall. So, if you're looking for something, it's that way. She points to the west.
I might 50 gold worth of dead weight. I'd buy a piano. And then head in the right direction.
So, we are going to stop here, guys. Just because things are going on. So, it's not the exact cliffhanger I want or anything like that, or anything great. We probably could have stopped before we actually had you guys win, but I missed the message, so I apologize.
No worries. That's a great little I think that's a great cliffhanger. We'll pick up talking to them and exploring the town next time.
So we will we'll take up this next week, and then and this will probably take us all of next session. So we may potentially have a guest star 2 weeks from now, then, where we will start up our next adventure after we see what happens in Beggar's Hole. So everybody that watched, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the wig that I had on for a little while. It got itchy. It was getting in my eyes. Like I said, I don't understand how people with long hair have long hair. You guys are not, I don't know if I want to use brave, but something like that.
Resilient.
Yeah, resilient's a good word for it. Other than that, you can catch me. I actually might be doing some of my world building for this campaign because I need to start preparing a bit more. This upcoming week, I'm going to try to stream it for once. It's been a bit since I've actually done that. Otherwise, you can catch me on my Sunday game at 9 a.m. CST or 10 a.m. EST on my channel, twitch.tv, Melwind. It is Petty Squabbles. I will have a 4th new player coming in, so we just didn't have someone step out. But check it out. We appreciate it. Charlie?
Just make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The bot posted Amel's Twitch link in the chat. Click that and click follow. It's really easy. The bot also just posted our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube link. All of these videos go to YouTube, a little bit edited down for time, and that kind of thing. But we don't cut any of the actual gameplay out. So check us out on YouTube and all the other stuff. And great session today, Dungeon Master Amel, and good job to my fellow players. Even though you're trying to force me into rats when I don't like it, I would say this is the most fun I've ever had playing argumentative role. Because sometimes that can get a little annoying and overly dramatic. But I thought we did a good job, and it was really fun arguing with you guys this time. So
I think it was handled in like enough time where it wasn't getting to the point of like escalation. It was like that good amount.
It was fun. That was a good session. Yeah, thanks everybody who tuned in.
Yep, thank you. Actually, I have one other announcement. It's something I did on my other games. Is if anybody is interested, I would say, Charlie, if anybody subs during this game potentially, when we're playing, or subs to me, usually I'll do is if someone wants to add an NPC character named into the game, or name like a town, like a shop or something like that. If you're interested in doing something like that, if you sub to either Chop Shop Network while we're playing, or to me directly,
or if you give I would say like a $2 donation to Amel during the stream, the bot does post his donation link sometimes throughout the stream. Throw a $2 donation, and we'll let you name the next PC that we meet.
Yeah, PCs, someone in town, all sorts of stuff like that. If you're interested, potentially if you want them to fight a certain creature, maybe I'll do for subs. I'll do like a voting, like here's options of what you guys can pick from, and be
so
like, here's what we go.
We can always do donations for forced critical fails and forced critical hits too.
This
I don't
is
get
so
forced critical fails.
you guys critical fail enough, to be honest.
Or forced magic surge, wild magic surges as well, things like that. But yeah, we'll talk about that more next time. If we do something like that, we'll have it all set up with the bot, nice and neat for you guys.
That'll be
we'll talk about it next time. And thanks everybody who tuned in.